to Laughter Talks. This is Marguerite Fair, and I'm with a very handsome gentleman. Right now, he's over me, and this is Jim Cull. But before we start, Jim, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And I would like to introduce you for some people that might not know what you're up to. Now, Jim Cull entered the entertainment industry in 1980 by invitation of his friend from the Silver Creek Band. Jim was a frequent guest for the band until forming his own group in 1981. Jim then started doing his work, eventually starting his own show called the Live Jukebox Shows. This is live entertainment, which is affordable and guaranteed to keep you rocking. As as with everything else in the entertainment industry, Jim was kind of during the pandemic, he'd been temporarily shut in like the rest of us. So now the good news is that he's back to engaging in these wonderful jukebox shows in person that are lively and fun. And Jim also has an extensive collection of celebrity autographs. And what we're going to do after that is look at some of his special collection. Now, this is it. So let's welcome my guest today, Jim Cull. There you
thank
are.
you so much.
Woo!
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
Well, I'm happy to be here again.
Yeah. So I understand that have you done well during this pandemic? You're healthy and everything. Your family's okay.
Yeah, everybody's doing really well. And, Washington State, which is where I live, has been kind of this up and down of we wear masks, we don't wear masks, we social distance less. Right now, everybody's being very cautious again with the variant and that type of thing. But everybody's healthy and it's kind of moving along and things are opening back up. So it's getting more normal. Schools are open back up and that type of thing. So.
Well, I'm glad that you're okay. That's always good news. Now, tell me, you've done a couple of shows already. What venues? Tell me about those shows. And I'm going to show people the posters too.
Okay, it's kind of funny because I've been doing some things that I've not really done before. Years and years and years ago, when I took over my own business, one of the first shows I ever did was an adult community. So like not it, partial nursing home and partial, people live on their own apartments and that type.
Oh, good. Because when you said adult, I was going to say, I didn't know you did porn.
Yeah. No, I gave up the idea of being a porn star years ago. So my dad moved into a place and he was like, gosh, I really miss coming out and hearing you sing and that type of thing. And so I secretly set something up with them. And I went out and did this show and it was very successful. And I thought, that's an untapped area where they're shut in many ways. And so they're a captive audience, which they have to listen to me. But no, it's really been fun. And so I've started doing some of that. I've started going back and working some of the private clubs. I'm still doing weddings and all of that stuff. And I do a combination of things. I do a combination of DJ work. I will host a karaoke show from time to time. I have 89,000 karaoke backgrounds. I carry about 130 to 137 DJ songs.
Wow, that's amazing.
And then I'll go in and sing and occasionally work with a band or a trio or a duo or that type of thing too. And so this next week I have 3 gigs. This week I have 1. Next week I have 3 gigs. And so it keeps me busy.
Thought about creating any jukebox shows, Zoom? Is that possible?
I actually have been asked about that. And not only that, but I've been asked about that. And I have a real luck with being connected to celebrities. Part of it is because I collect the autographs. Part of it is because I'm in the music business. And then part of it is just because I'm a fan,
Sure, you sent me. And I want everybody to see it because I like the way you do it. It's set up like a menu. And just quickly tell us before we go to the autographs, what types of music do you play? What's on this menu? Just explain a little bit of it.
Well, I play everything from the 20s up to current music. I do country and pop and rock and folk and gospel and a little jazz,
Wow.
uh, just a little bit of everything. In fact, the show that I'll do on Friday is going to be a lot of oldies and some 50s and some old standards. And then the show that I will do on Saturday will be everything, current stuff and everything.
Yeah. That's
So,
very good that's good for everyone to know. So what I would love for us to do now is, of course, talk about, and we're going to do a little tribute to some of the celebrities in your collection that have passed away.
mhm.
And I know I'm going to share the screen with you, so I'm going to leave you in control to take over and share some of your collection with us. We'd like to see that.
Okay, great. Well, first of all, we've lost so many people this last year. And one of the people that's been near and dear to your heart and my heart, and the reason we met uh, was Kevin Dobson.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
here's Kevin Dobson and
Oh,
I think this was about, well, this is just before you and I met. So it would have been about 2012.
okay.
And Kevin, of course, introduced me to you.
Uh-huh.
And so, and then shortly after that, Kevin signed an autograph for me. And here he is with Telly Savalas.
Oh, yeah. That's a great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kevin was just a great guy. He very versatile. And of course, I treasured him not only because of his talent, but because he introduced the two of us, and we've been such good friends ever since.
And that was through your late mother, the play that I did. So
That
in
is
case
correct.
anybody was wondering, yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of neat because when I met you, you were so gracious. You had never met me before. You introduced me to all the players and all the people that you knew that were there, and it was really, I felt like I had just walked into the home of a friend, only it was a theater, and it was,
Thank
and it was, and we've been like that since, and I've really appreciated that.
Well, thank you. That was a wonderful way to meet you. So thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so show us more of your collection. My goodness.
This is a picture of me with Ed Asner. Now, this is a couple about 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
And Ed and I have several friends in common. That particular day, I asked him if I called my dad, because my dad's a huge fan of Ed's. If I called my dad, if he talked to my dad, and he said sure, and I called my dad and handed the phone to my dad, and Ed goes, "Is this Jim?" Because my dad's name is Jim also. He goes, "Yeah, is this what did he say? Is this Lou?" My dad called him Lou because of Lou Grant. He goes, "Yeah, this is Lou." And they start talking. I thought, I'm never going to get my phone back. And then Ed, of course, signed an autograph for me. And this is one of the things, I'm a fan, and that's true. But these people are people, like I said, who have a really cool job.
Yeah.
And I love learning about their job and the backstories. He told me a lot about, he did a movie called The Christmas Card, and told me a lot about the background of the actors and what was going on behind the scenes, and some really funny stories and some very sad stories. And it just, every time I see the movie now, I literally cry.
Yeah.
Because I know the backstory of what was going on when they were making it, which is just so amazing. And in fact, it's kind of funny because this last week I actually threw a little mini birthday party for Sean Cassidy, and that was really neat. And it was just a matter of talking to the right people. And Gavin MacLeod, who played Captain Steubing on the Love Boat.
Yes, I was just watching an episode of Love Boat this morning. This one, the old one.
Gavin was a really great guy, and a lot of times I'll send a little questionnaire asking, who was your influence, or what movie, did you, or TV show did you like working on the most, or just little things. What kind of music do you listen to? And I had shared some very personal things with him, and I asked him some questions. And rather than answering the questions on my little questionnaire, he sent me a copy of his book, sent it to my dad and I, and inscribed it for me. And just very sweet. Included one of his Bible verses that was encouraging to us about the letter I'd written to him, and told him some of the, he gave me his whole story in his book. And
How
just a
wonderful.
treasure. And it wasn't something that I asked for. It was just something that he graciously gave me when I asked him some questions about his career and his life.
Yeah. Very special. That's very special.
This was a few years ago. I met Tanya Roberts, and Tanya did a lot of different movies, but if you in TV shows and such. But if you remember, at one point she was one of Charlie's Angels. After Farrah Fawcett had left the show, Tanya came on. Of course, let's see, Cheryl Ladd came on, and Tanya ended up coming on, and she was one of Charlie's Angels for a while. And sadly, she just recently passed away, and she signed an autograph for me that day.
Nice.
And that was really nice. And
yeah.
She was very sweet, very nice to talk to. I didn't spend a lot of time with Tanya, but I spent a little time with Tanya, and she was just very nice, very sweet. And I was very sad to hear of her passing.
Yeah. Now this is
one of my favorite people ever.
Yeah.
Christopher Plummer. An old picture of him, a new picture of him. And Christopher, I had a scrapbook that had all of the kids from The Sound of Music that signed it. And then I sent him a letter, and I asked if I sent the book to him across the United States, if he would sign it. I actually had two, one for myself and one for a friend. And he said, absolutely, send the book, no problem. And so I sent the book, and he signed the book, and he sent me a picture, which is right here, which he also signed for me. And then nice. Julie Andrews also signed a picture for me that I was able to include in the book. And then I got this crazy idea, and I thought, I'm going to go ahead and see if any of the original Von Trapp family are still alive. And they have Von Trapp singers today that are the kids of the kids. And he was very gracious. Of course, he signed the book, and he signed the picture for me. But if you remember, when we interviewed before, my background was from the movie Knives Out, which he did with Don Johnson and Daniel Craig and several others. And he just had such a wonderful career, and just was such a wonderful, great influence on other actors. And
he was a nice looking man too.
Truly was. Now, this last person, he did not pass away this last year. He passed away 2 years ago in 2020, but he was very special to me. This is Ed Burns.
Oh, 77 Sunset Strip.
77 Sunset Strip. Oh. And Ed, I'll show you what he looked like back in the 50s.
He was gorgeous.
There he is. And the neat thing about Ed is, for those people that don't know this, the first episode of 77 Sunset Strip, Ed played a killer who was obsessed with combing his hair. And by the way, he spoke the kind of almost the beatnik lingo before the beat, hey daddy-o, what's happening? Slap me some skin, that type of thing. And only from the 50s. And he just had this cool jive that he sputtered.
Yeah.
People were so taken by him that he got more fan mail that week than Elvis Presley did.
I believe it.
At the height of Elvis's career. The neat thing is, the next week, Ephraim Zimbalist Jr., who was the star of the show, came back on and said, folks, we had kind of something weird happen this week. And he explained what happened. He says, so we're going to pretend that episode 1 of 77 Sunset Strip never happened. And we're going to bring Ed Burns on as Cookie and a regular cast member of our show. And then that was the birth of Cookie.
Wow. Yeah.
He passed away in 2020, and it was very sad for me because I'd met him several and many times. He wrote a book called Cookie No More that explained kind of his journey in the acting career and that type of thing. And he did something for me which was really nice. It was for my dad, but he wouldn't take a picture of himself combing his hair, because that was something he had left in the past.
Another show.
We can do another show another time.
Get some more of them, because I know I asked you last time, and it must be more now. Tell us approximately how many you have in your collection.
It is more now. I'm cresting somewhere between 1,300 and 1,500. I have over 1,300 that I've logged. I keep a little log. Okay. But I have somewhere between 100 and probably 150 that I haven't logged yet.
So thank you for that. Now,
Sure.
before we go, I want to ask you a question that you can share with people. I think these jukebox shows you do is really great.
Yeah.
And as you know, there are people sometimes in this world starting out that have no clue how to do it. So what would you say to someone who's younger and they're interested in doing something like you, like putting a show together? What's the first things that they should do? What would you suggest?
Well, I started out working with bands and that type of thing. And then I worked with a duo for about 8 years. And I really cut my teeth on learning the music and learning what people liked, learning how to talk. And what I mean by that is a mentor of mine told me one time, Jim, if you're working in a bar, that drunk in the corner is paying your salary. So connect with him somehow. And that somehow is through the music. Find out what he likes, sing a song for him, that type of thing. And really get to know your audience. Oh, bless you.
Well, this is very good advice. And now, what another thing I'd like from you is please, how can people reach you if they would like to contact you? What is your preference of being reached?
They can contact me through email. And
Okay.
then once I'm contacted through email, I'll certainly give them my phone number.
And what is your email?
It's live jukebox shows at AOL.com. And I know everybody's.
I guess this has been divine, and we'll do it again. And next time we'll show more of your pictures.
Sounds great.
And also, you are in what area are you located in? Are you in Washington?
I'm in Washington State, about 40 miles from Seattle, but I play all over the place.
Okay, so
I've played down in San Diego. I've played in Vancouver, Washington. I've played down in Oregon. I've played all over the place.
Okay, so people shouldn't be afraid to contact you if they're a little bit farther. That's what I wanted to bring to point. Okay, well, I thank you again. I will see you soon. Now, you make sure that you stay safe and stay out of trouble or get into a little bit of good trouble. Everybody, thank you for watching Laughter Talks. Make sure you subscribe and stay healthy. Bye, everybody. Bye, Jim.
Thanks, Marguerite.
Thank you.